Hello, awards watchers. As you're watching this, we are a few days away from the Screen Actors Guild Awards on Sunday night, February 27th, and we are here to tell you who is going to win, or hopefully one of us will tell you in each category. One of us will be right in each category of who will win. I'm Daniel Montgomery, here with my fellow editors, Denton Davidson, Marcus James Dixon, and Chris Beachum. We have a separate slugfest talking about the film races that you can also watch, but for now we're going to go into TV, and let's start with TV Stunt Ensemble, where we've got the nominees: Cobra Kai, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Mare of Easttown, and Squid Game. This is a category that was like won by Game of Thrones 50 million times. For the last couple of years we haven't had Game of Thrones. So Chris, where do you think this is going?
Well, and no disrespect to Mare of Easttown, but that's fifth place for sure. It doesn't even fit with the other four, really. They had some stunts, but not like, a Marvel show or Cobra Kai, which is all stunts, and Squid Game, which is all stunts. I feel very safe here that it's going to be Squid Game. It was the sensation of the year. If it was either Loki or Falcon, maybe they don't kind of vote split just a little bit. So I think Squid Game's got it.
How about you, Marcus?
Yeah, I have Squid Game winning this. You would think a show about fighting, Cobra Kai, could pull off an upset. It actually lost last year to the Mandalorian, which Mandalorian is a super popular show, just like Squid Game was. So maybe they're going with what they've seen as opposed to what is specifically about the stunts. So I'm going with Squid Game, yes.
And Denton?
I'm going to go with Mare of Easttown. Just kidding. I just have nothing else to say compared to what Marcus and Chris have said. Squid Game, it's what everyone was talking about all year, and I can't imagine it going to anyone else.
By the way, Glow did win this 3 years ago, so sometimes they do go for a smaller show, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna make it 4 for 4. I'm also predicting Squid Game. I do think there's a chance that maybe one of those Marvel shows takes it, Falcon and the Winter Soldier or Loki. But like Chris said, the fact that they're both in here, I feel like they're both gonna get some votes. And Squid Game is such a phenomenon and so stunt heavy, just like the nature of the show, everyone playing those dangerous, deadly games. So yeah, I'm going with Squid Game. So this is our first dangerous category of all predicting the same winner.
I feel like of the 8 TV categories, this is the easiest one.
Probably, yeah. I think you're probably right.
I'm sorry, 9. Yeah, I think it's the easiest one, which takes us to the one you're about to say, which is probably then the second easiest one.
Yeah, yes, we're going to go into the movie and limited series categories, starting with the actress category, where we've got Jennifer Coolidge, The White Lotus, Cynthia Erivo, Genius Aretha, Margaret Qualley for Maid, Jean Smart for Mare of Easttown, and Kate Winslet for Mare of Easttown. It looks like Kate Winslet is just going to be the sweep, like all through the season, like we've seen a couple times, like Sarah Paulson, People versus O.J. Simpson. It's just like, this is the performance that's on everyone's mind. So do you agree with that, Denton?
I do. I have Kate in first. And by default, I have Jean in fifth, because I don't think she's getting any votes here. It'll either be Hacks and Kate here, but I have Cynthia Erivo in second. I do think she's somewhat of a threat for the type of role she plays, for the singing. She's playing Aretha Franklin. She's the only diverse person in this entire lineup, and I have her as maybe a closer second than most people think, but I do think this is Kate's.
How about you, Marcus?
They love Mare of Easttown so much. I mean, besides the stunt, it got in Evan Peters, who's a supporting actor, and it got in Jean Smart, who's a supporting actress. So I think Kate Winslet is pretty much a lock here. I do have Jennifer Coolidge in second. She's been working forever, and this is finally a role where she can become an award nominee, possibly an award winner at the Emmys. I really wish this category could be split between leads and supportings, because I would love to see Jennifer Coolidge win, but we may have to wait on that one.
Yeah, I agree with Marcus that Jennifer Coolidge is like the potential spoiler for me, just because like not only did she get a lot of buzz for the show, she's really having a moment like when she presented at the Emmys. She was in a Super Bowl commercial. Like it feels like there's a kind of groundswell for her. What do you think, Chris?
Oh, I've got Kate Winslet. I've got Margaret Qualley actually in second, just because she's a lead and Jennifer Coolidge is supporting. But those two out of these five do move on to the Emmys next. And that one will be in lead and one will be in supporting. They could both win at the Emmys. So don't despair, Sunday ladies, if if Kate Winslet goes up on stage to pick up the trophy, because both of you could win Emmys in September.
Which brings us to a much more difficult category, I think. Best actor, male actor in a TV, movie, or limited series, where the nominees are Murray Bartlett for The White Lotus, Oscar Isaac, Scenes from a Marriage, Michael Keaton in Dope Sick, Ewan McGregor in Halston, and Evan Peters, as we mentioned, in Mayor of Easttown. I honestly think this is a three-way race where I've got Keaton very narrowly out front. What do you think, Marcus?
I do have Keaton out front, and I'm so glad I watched Dope Sick, because after I watched it, I put him at number one for this and for another award show. Was it the Globes? We didn't predict the Globes. Anyways,
Is he the Critics' Choice, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. He was just so good in that. And, I love Evan Peters, but it's not common that a supporting person wins in one of these categories. I know Alexander Skarsgård did that and Paul Giamatti did that. And there is a list of people that do that, but it's not as common as the leads winning. And so that's why I'm going with Keaton.
Denton?
I have Keaton. And for the same reasons Marcus listed. And I have Ewan McGregor in second place. I have Evan Peters in third, just because he's relatively young. We know that the SAG Awards voters tend to skew a little higher with people they're more familiar with and more people have worked with. And that Mayor of Easttown role just isn't necessarily the flashiest. Maybe he'll have better luck with Jeffrey Dahmer type of role that he's working on in the future. But I think Keaton this year.
Chris?
I'm going down the Evan Peters road. I remember refusing to predict Alexander Skarsgård. I kept saying he just won the Emmy, just like Evan Peters, and I kept thinking he was up against somebody that was a lead and he was supporting, and I just refused to believe they'd go with supporting when they had a really good lead alternative, and they did. So I think what somebody said earlier, I think it was Marcus, talking about the love for Mayor of Easttown, not only at the Emmys, but here, I think, and Evan doesn't have a competitor from his own show. None of these do. I've got Michael Keaton in second. Ewan McGregor, who just won the Emmy as a lead, we've all got, I guess, in third. So, or second or third. None of us have him winning, which is odd. But I'm going to go with Evan, and if that's right, then I get a really big jump on all of you. And if it's wrong, then I fall way down the rabbit hole I just mentioned.
Yeah, you're almost convincing me to change my mind, and I might before Sunday, just because there is such a possibility that just this large group of people, like they did with Big Little Lies, when Big Little Lies was the sensation of the year, just being like, okay, I'm checking Kate and I'm checking Evan.
Well, I just think about one thing about Michael Keaton. And this year's a totally different year than the Birdman year, but he should have been a lot to win actor at SAG, of all places, playing an actor with mental problems. And the movie went on later that night to win ensemble, so they loved Birdman. And then the same thing happened at the Oscars. So that could have been just a one-time only, we love Eddie Redmayne kind of a thing, or it could indicate something bigger, and Michael Keaton might not win this.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. Michael Keaton has won 3 SAG Awards for film ensembles, and he has not won individually.
2 in a row,
Birdman,
right?
Yeah, Birdman and Spotlight were back to back, and then last year he won for Trial of the Chicago 7. So they like him with other people. So let's move into the comedy categories. These categories feel less competitive to me, but maybe that's a trap, and we're going to see like just a bunch of upsets here. Let's start with comedy actress. We've got Elle Fanning for The Great. You've got Sandra Oh in The Chair. You've got a couple of women from Ted Lasso, Hannah Waddingham and Juno Temple. And then, of course, you've got the reigning Emmy winner, Jean Smart from Hacks. I think this is Jean Smart. She got the nomination for Mayor of Easttown, which I think is not just the sign of how much they love Mayor of Easttown, but how much they love Jean Smart this year. And, you know, she's up against co-stars who could split the vote and two other shows that don't have, you know, as much buzz and awards heat as Hacks does. What do you think, Chris?
I don't think we need to spend long on this one. It's only her second ever nomination. She's never had an individual SAG nomination before. She was up for 24, right? The cast ensemble nomination. She was incredible on 24, by the way. One of Marcus's favorite shows as the very deceptive first lady. But everything falls into place for her here. She's up, the ensemble's up. Hannah and Juno might split. Sandra Oh is on a show that we don't know that they watched other than for Sandra Oh, and Elle Fanning can't beat Jean Smart. I just think this is so easy, and they've been watching her for 40 years.
How about you, Marcus?
I agree. I think she's winning this. Oh, sorry, my cat my cat's voting for Jean Smart too. I think she's winning this. I think she's winning the Critics' Choice, which would mean she's won all 5 TV awards following the Emmys, the Golden Globes, and the TCA. Only 4
I take offense to that, by the way, when you write those kind of articles. It should be 6 with the Gold Derby Award.
Oh, yeah. Well, Jean won with us.
I know, and did a speech.
We'll have to add that. But yeah, there's a very small group of people that have done that for the same season, for the same year. And I think she's going to be in that group.
Denton?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this one is close. People love Ted Lasso, they love Hannah Waddingham, but not enough. And like you said, she's got a co-star in Juno Temple in here. They love Sandra Oh, but there's not a lot of buzz about The Chair. So this is Jean Smart all the way.
Yeah. Then we got TV comedy actor, which I actually think is a slightly less foregone conclusion, where we've got 2 actors from Only Murders in the Building, Steve Martin and Martin Short, 2 actors from Ted Lasso, Brett Goldstein and Jason Sudeikis, who's the defending champion, and lone Michael Douglas for The Kominsky Method. It feels like Jason Sudeikis, who won it last year, is like the obvious choice, and I am predicting him. But one interesting statistic that I did notice recently was that while vote splitting, a lot of people have overcome it. It's not always a problem. Like last year, we saw 3 The Crown women, and Gillian Anderson still won. But the last time anyone won the comedy actor category against a co-star was Robert Downey Jr. against Peter McNichol for Ally McBeal 20 years ago, which is really interesting. Like, and I want to like, that seems weird. Is that really the last one? And
that
every
helped
other
me a couple
co-star
of years ago when we all thought it was going to be Bill Hader. I think this is right. I may have the wrong combination, but it was Bill Hader and Henry Winkler against 2 from another show and Tony Shalhoub by himself.
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub for Maisel, and then Tony Shalhoub won.
And I went with Tony Shalhoub thinking 2 and 2. And I think the website, the odds had Bill Hader, obviously. And Bill Hader's sort of like Jason Sudeikis, that SNL lead versus supporting. But anyway, and you didn't come to me, but I'll just quickly say, I do think it's Jason Sudeikis. But Steve Martin is sort of not sort of, he's really a legend within the industry, more so than Martin Short. I love Martin Short. Martin Short's been more of a character actor his whole career, whereas Steve was the lead in so many films. So it may not be as much vote splitting there as you think between Steve Martin, Martin Short. So anyway, I think it's going to be Jason Sudeikis, and I'm only saying that because we've already seen them go to him, so we know that the body at large likes him in that role.
Denton?
Yeah, I have Sudeikis as well. And I was sort of looking at the vote split in a different way about how we know SAG likes to go for these acting legends or for people who have worked for long periods of time with a lot of people. And we have three here with Steve Martin, Michael Douglas, and Martin Short. Maybe if, two of them weren't there, I would be more confident in picking the one that was left. I do think Steve Martin is, like, if you watch Only Murders in the Building, he does feel like he's more of the lead than Martin Short is. So I agree.
The co-creator and one of the head writers. I think people in the industry know that.
And I agree with Chris. So I do feel like if you're going to vote there, you probably will vote for Steve Martin. So maybe Steve Martin could sneak in here.
Steve Martin in the finale of Only Murders is probably the performance of the year for me. So for me, this is not a vote split if they watched the show, but I am predicting Jason Sudeikis. But have we talked about Brett Goldstein possibly taking votes away? I mean, it's a possibility because Brett is such a popular actor.
Well, if you're right,
writer on
Martin
the show.
Short just takes a few from Steve Martin. Are we really totally fooling ourselves on Michael Douglas? Could he be the Tony Shalhoub? I mean, he's an acting legend.
Mm-hmm.
And his show got in for Ensemble.
And it surprisingly got in for Ensemble. It wasn't like a name check, they love Netflix, as we mentioned on the other chat. So could he be the one here where they go, oh, I've loved Michael Douglas for 50 years?
Yeah, it's such a SAG thing to do. I think it's very possible that that could happen for him. So
we've named everybody now. Who do you all have in fifth then?
Honestly, I have Brett Goldstein in fifth, just because I feel like the worst. Like, I don't think he could get enough votes to beat Jason Sudeikis. I just think the most he could do is maybe pull Sudeikis a little bit down for another contender to maybe rise.
Mm-hmm.
I have Goldstein too.
Me too. Yeah.
There's your supporting Emmy winner from a few months ago.
Mm-hmm. I know the SAG committee really needs to add supporting categories for TV, but that's another slugfest.
Yeah, we've explained that. They're not going to do that. It overwhelms the film side if they do that.
Which brings us to Best TV Comedy Ensemble. We've talked about a couple of the shows that are nominated here already. They are The Great, Hacks, Kaminsky Method, Only Murders in the Building, and Ted Lasso. I actually feel that Ted Lasso is probably even safer here than it is for Sudeikis, just because it lost last year to Schitt's Creek, so it hasn't won this one before. And I don't think any of the other shows are going to be that well loved from an entire cast standpoint, the way Ted Lasso has been loved.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think, Denton?
Yeah, I have Ted Lasso too, and I thought it was an easy choice. But now when I'm looking at my predictions and I see Only Murders in the Building there, and I think of who's in it, I start to question myself. Maybe that's stronger than I originally thought. I have Hacks in second, and maybe that's really third place. This is a little tougher category than I was originally thinking, because I do think Only Murders in the Building has a case to be made for it. But Ted Lasso, I have for now. That one I might think about that before Sunday.
Chris?
This is where Brett Goldstein gets his SAG award. He'll be part of that ensemble win. Not winning last year was not a surprise. I think not winning this year would be a surprise. Only Murders, I would love personally to see that win, but it's I think the smallest cast out of the five. We've also seen the biggest cast win these. If some of those people like Nathan Lane and Sting and Tina Fey had been eligible as part of the Only Murders cast, maybe that would have boosted it up. But I have Hacks in second and Ted Lasso in first.
Yeah, I will add, Ted Lasso got 4 individual acting nominations, 2 actors, 2 actresses. Hacks missed Hannah Einbinder. Only Murders missed Selena Gomez. The Great missed Nicholas Hoult, and Kaminsky missed, someone like Paul Reiser. So if you just look at it that way, Ted Lasso got everything it needed. And, maybe Juno Tempo was a surprise for some people. So it overperformed almost. So I think this one is as close to a lock as we can get.
And moving away from locks, we're going to talk about drama.
Yeah, drama's tough.
Drama is interesting. We've got Succession dominating these nominations, as we'll start with the Best Drama Actress nominees, who are Jennifer Aniston for The Morning Show, who won last time she was eligible, Jung Ho-yeon for Squid Game, Elizabeth Moss, Handmaid's Tale, Sarah Snook for Succession, and Reese Witherspoon joining Jennifer Aniston for The Morning Show. I think Reese Witherspoon is bad news for Jennifer Aniston. The fact that she got in this year, and I already thought, even if Jennifer Aniston were alone, Sarah Snook might be able to beat her. But yeah, I'm going Sarah Snook here because she's the only Succession nominee, and Succession did pretty dang well overall. What do you think, Marcus?
Yeah, for the reason of not picking Evan Peters, I said this because he's supporting, but for this one, I am picking Sarah Snook, even though she's supporting. But to be fair, she straddles that line between lead and supporting. She is the lead actress of Succession, and she does have a ton of screen time in season 3 for a supporting person. So if you look at it that way, it's not really, she's not really a supporting actress on the show. I am picking Sarah Snook. I have Jennifer Aniston in second place. SAG Awards love repeats. We haven't really seen that in recent years, but historically they love giving the same person the trophy year after year after year. And Elizabeth Moss is interesting. I don't think she's ever won an individual SAG Award, and I think she's up to 17 total nominations, including, Mad Men and all that. But Sarah Snook.
Denton?
Yeah, I have Sarah Snook as well. I think Succession is just dominating everything this year. And I agree that Reese Witherspoon hurts Jennifer Aniston. And I also think the Morning Show was interesting for season 2. I think both of their screen time was a little more individually based, and they didn't necessarily have as strong of storylines. So I'm sticking with Sarah Snook.
And Chris?
That's what I have. I think the Morning Show split here is real. And I know, reading the forums all the time, a lot of people thought it was a better season plot-wise for Reese than Jennifer. So I don't like vote splitting when there's not an obvious choice, like Jason Sudeikis over Brett Goldstein, kind of a thing. And I'm careful, like Marcus is, usually not to go supporting when I don't have to, but my surprise pick might be from Squid Game. Say her name again.
Jung Ho-yeon.
Yeah, got her in 4th though, but she's also supporting, so I don't know that takes me away from Sarah Snook. I think Sarah's got it here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jung is a borderline lead of Squid Game. That it's an ensemble show with, I think, really just one lead, who we'll talk about in a second. But she is, like, as the season progresses, her role actually just increases in prominence. So I do think I have her living. I have her in 3rd. I do think it's possible, especially being the only nominee from that show here, and the show having done so well overall. But speaking of a Squid Game, we have another Squid Game actor nominated in the male actor side, Lee Jung-jae. He's nominated against Billy Crudup for The Morning Show, and 3 Succession actors, Jeremy Strong, Brian Cox, and Kieran Culkin. 2 leads, 1 supporting. This feels like the most archetypical vote split kind of situation where it's not an obvious choice. I also feel like Succession is so popular that those 3 actors can split the vote and still potentially finish 1, 2, 3 in the vote totals. So I'm going Jeremy Strong. That's not 100%. They love veterans. So Brian Cox could do it. But yeah, I'm just giving the slight edge to Jeremy Strong. What do you think, Chris?
This is my only surprise out of the 9. I really believe in the vote split here. If Brian Cox was winning all the awards, including the Emmy, and Jeremy Strong was not, I think, oh, this is perfect for SAG. Though, he's winning all the awards. I love the veteran. He's certainly the most veteran of these 5. They'll go with him. But Jeremy and Brian, I don't even care about Kieran's vote splitting possibilities from Succession. I think those two could be like 50-50 pulling from Succession fans. I'm going with Lee Jung-jae. I think it's their because you'll hear in a moment, I'm not going with Squid Game on Drama Ensemble. So I think this is where they can reward that show.
How about you, Marcus?
So Kevin Jacobson did a really, really interesting article for Gold Derby. And he looked back at every time there were 3 performers from the same show nominated. There's 7 times in the past. So this Succession one is the 8th. And of those 7 times, only one of the trio didn't win anything. The other 6 times, one of the trio won. So when you look at it that way, if there's 3 people in the category, the chances are that one of them is going to win. So for that reason, I think I'm going to go with Brian Cox. I think he is the veteran. And, you know, when us Gold Derby people polled each other, who would you vote for a couple weeks ago? Didn't Brian Cox win our little group poll?
I think so.
I'm thinking with Brian.
It was either Brian or it might have been Kieran. I can't remember, actually.
No, it was Brian. Kieran didn't have any votes, I don't think.
And we had about 9 of us on staff, and we all voted.
I voted for Kieran.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I have Brian Cox too because of the veteran status, but I'm really tempted to go with Lee Jung-jae here. Just from listening to us talk about Daniel's going with Jeremy and me and Marcus have Brian. I mean, I don't know how close those other vote splits were in the
Billy
past.
Crudup could win this thing. If it is the vote split for Succession, he's an Emmy winner for this role.
And I will
And
say
they loved the morning show this year. It got in for Ensemble. So
and he is really good at season 2. So
and no Steve Carell this time to split votes from.
right. This is a tough cat. This is a really tough category.
This is going to divide us up.
This is
on
a
our
4-way
scores.
race. This is a 4-way race with 4 Kieran seeming like the only one none of us think really is a strong chance. It'll be interesting though. I'm trying to think of when the last time a show swept all 3 of its categories. Like even if you're really dominant and you're strong in all 3, did The Crown do it last year? Or did The Crown split? I can't remember.
Eugene didn't win. He had a split with his own son and comedy actor. I was thinking that was
I was thinking The Crown. Who won drama actor?
Well, the first year of The Crown, I specifically remember John Lithgow and Claire Foy, and then they did not win Ensemble.
And then Stranger Things, I think, won Ensemble. The Crown, I can't remember if Josh O'Connor won last year. It won Anderson and it won for the cast, but I'm not sure O'Connor won that one. So
I will say,
but it's really not
Marcus for his great Hidden Figures pick 3 or 4 years ago, however long that's been, on the film slugfest we did. I was the only one that got Jason Bateman. Was that 2 years ago, 3 years ago in this category, out of our editors at least. And I hit 100% for TV. So take that with a grain of salt.
Well, it's interesting because we could see a case where Succession loses this category and wins, ensemble and actress, or it could win both of the individual acting categories and lose ensemble, maybe to Squid Game, where it's nominated with Succession, The Morning Show, Yellowstone, and The Handmaid's Tale. I was predicting Squid Game for a long time. I have since chickened out. I am now predicting Succession to win all 3 categories. I'll probably be right in 2 of the 3 cases, maybe. Or if I have the wrong Succession man, then one of the 3 cases, or I don't know. I'm chickening out. I don't want to lose this and everyone else gets Succession right. So even if I turned out I would have been right with Squid Game, I'm going with Succession unless I change my mind before Sunday. What do you think, Denton?
Yeah, I have Succession. Squid Game, though, that is really tempting. That is exactly the type of show that SAG would go for, even though Succession has all this clout. Succession, such a huge cast. It's something completely different, and it is tempting. It is tempting to go in that direction. But I do have Succession. I love Yellowstone's nomination. The fact that they just appear out of nowhere. it kind of makes you really like consider something that there's something to say about that. Not that I think they're going to win, but I think they might be a little higher on the list than some people think. But I'm going with Succession.
What do you think, Marcus?
I am going with Succession. And by the way, last year's drama actor winner was Jason Bateman. That was his second win.
Gotcha. That was I remember thinking, oh no, I was pricking Josh O'Connor because that was the way everything was going, and it didn't go that way, and I should have known. So it has been a while.
So Succession is just, it was the show of the year. I mean, it was so buzzy. People are still talking about it. And it's just so weird. We haven't really talked about this, but season 1 of Succession, no nominations. Season 2 of Succession, no nominations. Now it could very well win 3 SAG Awards. It could sweep the drama categories. I don't know if that's ever happened. I know Schitt's Creek took 6 years to finally win, but it didn't sweep. So I don't know what else to say. I'm going to pick Succession and Sarah Snook and Brian Cox, and I'm going to win. I'm going to beat you all.
Chris?
I know it could be Squid Game, but I've debated on over some of these categories, and I just don't want to do. It's Succession. It's got to be Succession. It just fits all and none of these are smaller casts like we talked on Only Murders. These are all, when you look at the eligible list of who would actually win, they're all massive ensembles. So you can't use that as a guideline. But I think Succession also has a ton of people that everybody in the industry has worked with, including a lot of just character actors that they've worked with, over the course of their lives. So I think that one I don't want to ruin my brain over.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking with that too. And when Stranger Things beat The Crown was very much focused on like a few main showcase performances. So it made sense that Stranger Things beat it there, which was more of an ensemble. In this case, Succession is a pure ensemble kind of show. It's the exact kind of show that wins here. It's the hot show on TV. So I feel like Squid Game might need Succession to be a little weaker for Squid Game to come out on top, but I still think it's very close. These drama categories are clearly closer than comedy, feels like.
Well, thanks everybody for watching. You can also watch our film slugfest, which is completely separate. You've got until Sunday afternoon to get your final picks in for both events. 9 categories here, 6 for the film side. Also, we've got Oscar winners you can predict, a whole bunch of Guild Awards, Grammys. We just launched the Emmy Prediction Center event last week. And now mentioning all these shows, some of these aren't eligible for Emmys. Good luck on picking the Emmys this year, because the drama and the comedy and the limited series genres are overly packed. There's going to be some people that are very accustomed to getting in at the Emmys that are not going to make it just on sheer numbers alone. So thank you for watching. Tune into all of our coverage of SAG Awards on Sunday, and we'll see you again soon.